guys, hey you guys, okay, over there, hey you guys, hey you guys,
Hey, you guys okay over there?
okay, over there, hey you guys, okay.
Ah, the friggin' shark!
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater, Shark Month 2018. Wow, no excitement at all for that. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-host, Blake and John.
Ahoy.
Smile, you son of a... Sorry.
Let's get this shit show on the road. Five-headed shark attack. Did we open strong?
No.
No.
No. Compared to three-headed shark attack.
Oh, this was a total flop compared to three-headed shark. Like, I enjoyed three-headed shark attack compared to this.
No Rob Van Dam, no Sale.
And no Danny Trejo.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's terrible.
This had nobody.
I was gonna ask you guys how it compared, because man, this just was like really just unenjoyable, and uncreative, and
Yeah, they're just doing them to do them at this point in the headed shark attack franchise.
it's just
I wonder if it's like the same reason why they keep making a Fantastic Four movie, just to keep the rights to it. Like, is that why they keep making these movies?
Who else is gunning for the rights for the multi-headed shark
Disney,
attack
baby.
movies?
There might be somebody out
Disney's
there.
after everything these
Yeah.
days.
Disney's buying it all up, so maybe.
But yeah, like I mean, I wasn't around for three-headed shark attack, so I can't compare it. But I mean, this just like they have this concept and they have no fun with it at all. Like, there's no reason this was a five-headed shark. It doesn't do anything like that only a five-headed shark could do. Really?
Now, Blake, refresh my memory. Did three-headed end with a three-headed shark growing a fourth head?
It grew a couple heads.
I can't remember
Remember,
if
there's a
it
bunch of
ended
little heads.
in such a way that, oh, it's got four now, so watch out for four-headed shark attack.
No, because they cut off one of the heads, and I think it was two little heads came out.
Yeah.
So that would have been.
I think that's the only tenuous connection to any of the other ones in the franchise.
I don't know. I don't know if they're marketing it as a new kind of shark, though, because the only reason the three-headed shark existed was because of the garbage patch.
The garbage patch.
Yeah. There's no
This one seemed to be
explanation given for the existence of this thing.
Strictly plastic pollution made a three-headed shark in Three-Headed Shark Attack.
right.
This, we just have
this,
to take
like,
for granted that it's there.
When the fifth head grew, there was no rhyme or reason to why it did it or how.
No.
It just did it out of sheer anger.
I guess. And for me, I don't I was expecting. Okay, this was just like it was legit, just four shark heads in front of the body, and the tail became a head. I was envisioning, like, before I saw the movie, I thought it was gonna be just like a ninja star shark just kind of spinning through the ocean. Which probably would have been
Like a Gamera, like Gamera flipping through the ocean.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just twirling away.
That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
But sadly, it was not.
Well, and that would have made more sense because they kept describing the thing as being shaped like a starfish, which
Yeah,
it
what
wasn't.
the fuck are you talking about? A starfish?
Every time it came out the water with the four heads, to me it just reminded me of like the little finger puppets you put on your hand, like just coming out of the water, just four little
Exactly. It
fingers
looked like a
coming
shark
out.
glove or something.
Yeah,
Well, anyway, let's get to the nitty gritty and get through this thing. So, we open on Palomino Island, Puerto Rico, where a bunch of poor, about to be eaten bastards are having a bikini photo shoot on a boat. A great white shark approaches unseen. They all bunch up on the stern of the boat waiting for the inevitable when the great white is suddenly devoured by a four-headed shark attack. Oh, here we go. One of the girls spots blood in the water, so they all walk to the edge of the boat, standing perfectly spaced out, four abreast, I wonder what's going to happen. The brains of the group points out, is that a shark? As a gigantic shark swims feet away from the boat. The cameraman yells for his friend Juan to come out and bring his video camera. And the shark makes a few passes as they all swoon and cheer for it for some reason. It then makes a beeline straight for the boat as the 6 boaters patiently wait for it to erupt from the water and gnaw them all to bits.
Well, in theory, it gnawed them all to bits. But when they showed like the wide shot, it just kind of smushed them and blood came out.
Well, it doesn't have much accuracy with all those faces on it.
I know.
See, like, why can't Asylum have fun with their movies? It's just like this whole the math doesn't add up here. It's like, why have 4 people or why have 6 people on the end of the boat when there's only 4 heads? Like, the movie could have been a lot of fun if they was just coming up with ridiculous reasons for there to be 4 people standing right next to each other, so this shark can keep eating.
They did that in Three-Headed.
Yeah.
In Three-Headed, they did that where they had 3 people standing there perfectly spaced out, and it came out and it killed all 3 of them. But here, they just I don't know.
Totally gave up.
They were making this movie. They're making this movie too damn fast to care.
But and something I was disappointed in Three-Headed Shark Attack. You never saw it, really, but it got on land and killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that to happen again.
Yeah, just
maybe that was just because it was Garbage Patch Shark instead of
especially if it would have been the throwing star shark, just cartwheeling down the beach.
That's nightmare fuel.
All better than what they actually did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cut to the San Juan Police Department. The police receive a call about a shark attack off Palomino Island and go to investigate. Within seconds, Officer Sterling is on the scene, and he and his partner, Officer Black, board the boat to search for survivors. He finds the boat empty and a camera in a pool of blood. He flips through the photos to find a blurry pic of the 4-headed shark, and he sends word to search and rescue.
No,
I got issues right here.
Okay, go ahead with your issues. I also have several issues.
The one issue is we saw the boat that looked like it had been, Stephen King carried before, after it killed everybody. But then when they're going through the pictures, like they see the shark, and then he says, or him or her, I can't remember. One of them says, "Go back," like go back to the picture of the shark. Who took a picture after they died?
Or while they were dying, I guess.
But the camera was just to go back.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he went. There were more pictures. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
My issue was more with he's scanning through the pictures and goes past the picture of the 4-headed shark without being like, hold on, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it was like bikini, 4-headed shark, nothing to see here. Just...
he's trying to get to more butt shots.
Yeah.
So we cut to a lab at the Puerto Rico Aquarium, where a quote-unquote scientist is cutting open a fish while 4 interns look on. The professor pulls what looks like a little Nerf gun from the fish's guts. Damn you, world. Littering the ocean with all these little keychain Nerf guns.
So this is a common thread with like all of the Asylum movies I think I've seen is the environmental message.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I'm on board with environmental stuff, but, like, they get pretty heavy-handed with it in Asylum. Every single one of them.
For a movie starring a 5-headed shark, yeah, I don't know if I could take this seriously.
Yeah. In the
listen, you can make whatever.
Go ahead.
You can make whatever fucking movie you want. Just make sure you let people know about global warming.
They gotta put it in where however they can. In the establishing shot for what's supposed to be the aquarium, they framed the shot that included the flag that says Coliseo de Puerto Rico. You know what the actual thing is. It's like a big,
it's a
stadium.
Yeah.
So that's what prompted me to start doing research. And I was like, okay, well, what's the Puerto Rico Aquarium? Because they all had shirts that said Puerto Rico Aquarium, which it was all in English. But
yeah.
So I looked up. There are no aquariums in Puerto Rico, but there are pet shops that sell aquarium supplies. That's about as close as I got.
Not the same thing at all.
No.
But yeah, that was one detail that I was actually impressed by, that they all had shirts with this logo on it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like the main doctor had it embroidered on her lab coat. So,
Budget by Custom Inks.
Yeah. But it's like they don't usually go to the trouble of that kind of detail. I mean, like, see the police officers' costumes in this movie. Just like a blue
Party
polo
City
shirt.
level police, yeah.
I kept trying to. It wasn't like the main cop guy. Like I kept looking at him. I was like, okay, he looks like somebody, and I was like, who is he a budget version of? And I'm just like, he looks like somebody. He looks like somebody. And then like by the end of the movie, I realized what it was, but I didn't want to do the research. But he looks like the budget version of the guy that plays Pablo Escobar in Narcos. So there's you have that.
Yeah.
Budget Escobar.
Pablo Escobar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after they pull the plastic from the fish, one of the students gets the brilliant idea for, why don't we invent nutritious edible plastic? You know, not plastic. Officer Sterling enters to ask them some questions. The professor, Dr. Yost, leaves the children to clean up and follows the officers to another room. They tell her that they're investigating the people missing from the yacht, which everyone knows about, apparently. That was big news.
How was this? I thought this was the same day. Like the cops just came straight from the boat.
Word spreads fast on the tiny island of Puerto Rico.
What was I say? Small town. I mean, how many people they got in Puerto Rico? Like 400?
I can't comment. They tell her that they believe it to have been a shark attack, and Yost tells them that there have been exactly 11 shark attacks in Puerto Rico, and no fatal attacks since 1925. So therefore, it's impossible that this is a shark attack.
Yeah.
Sterling produces the camera and says he believes that there's a picture of a great white, to which Yost says, "Great whites don't kill people on boats. What's next? Sharknadoes?"
She starts.
I hate you.
She starts like fast fire referencing other Asylum movies.
What's next? Crocosauruses? So
if you're not going to take this serious, I'm gonna go to the amusement park and fight a dragon.
So they show her the photo and ask if it's possible for sharks to have more than one head. And she says that she's heard of sharks with 2 and maybe even 3 heads before. But shark attacks are rare here, so she wouldn't expect another. We're just going to go over, like, she just glossed over mentioning that it's totally normal for sharks to have 3 heads.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't...
Just a reference. That's all it is. It's just...
Yeah. Well, then she cites Cerberus as some sort of scientific example of multi-headed syndrome in nature.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I thought that she was, okay, like, because she says Cerberus and then she said 2 heads. And, like, I immediately was like, got you, fucking Asylum. This is it. I fucking got you. And so, like, I start trying to look up stuff again and then realize that there's, like, different varying accounts of Cerberus and some of them are 2 heads.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. We just got Asylum on an inaccuracy.
Yeah, I know. I was so excited.
And they slipped through our fingers.
So close.
So, Q aquarium administrator Whitey, I'm going to call him for now, he says it's probably just Photoshop that somebody did in camera, and send the officers on their way. The next day, Yost gears up with her crew of delicious interns to catch the shark everyone's hunting on the orders of the aquarium. Whitey believes that catching the killer shark for the exhibit will save the aquarium, give the kids something different, a shark. Because we all know the one thing routinely missing from aquariums are sharks, right?
Well, this dude loves saying shark.
Shark. It's a shark.
He says it like that throughout the entire movie.
I love that. But also, I think, and I didn't do any research for this, but I'm pretty sure that great whites do not survive in captivity. And that's why there are none that you can see anywhere.
They do not. Yeah. You're correct.
Yeah. Well, this guy's gonna try.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've all been trying to keep single-headed great white sharks.
Yeah.
Who knows what these four-headed ones are capable of?
Yeah.
So, hands tied, they all have to board the boat and set sail. Later, they're all chumming and setting up cameras. Intern Ram checks the feed on the GoPro, but he couldn't find anything. Whitey isn't surprised, as the local fishermen are fishing with cyanide for the fish for aquarium trade. What?
Yeah, I didn't understand.
You want to know why I'm not surprised? Because you have a GoPro in the ocean. Like, there's a lot of room to cover, Chief. You may not see something right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, that's their main means of surveillance. One GoPro camera in the ocean.
It's got a wide lens on it, though.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the other 180 degrees?
But what about this fishing with cyanide to give fish to the aquarium? Dead fish to the aquarium?
I did not understand what that meant. Do aquariums, maybe aquariums buy lots of fish to feed to the other fish in the aquarium?
Yeah, cyanide-laden fish.
Fun fact, the university I work at has the largest collection of dead fish that people do research on.
Well, goddamn.
Well, that's a university, not an aquarium.
They pay top dollar for dead fish.
This thing these were students, right?
Yeah.
Well, interns, I guess.
Interns.
Okay.
Well, it's the local fishermen that are doing it.
Well, what you think? Scientists out there with rods and reels? They're getting them from somebody. Just saying it's possible. Asylum slipped through our fingers again.
I'm pretty sure Hooper would go out and get his own specimens, and he didn't rely on Ben Gartner to go out there and get his fish for him.
Dude,
that's Hooper, though.
Hooper's got city hands. Counting money all your life.
Well, then Administrator Whitey pines for a little doggy that he could use as bait, just in case anyone hasn't caught on that he's the bad guy of the movie. The shark then arrives under the boat and surfaces. They watch on the screens as the shark eats one of the cameras, but that doesn't stop the intern from continuing to stare at her blank iPad. It just ate the damn camera. Whitey goes to get the nets, and when the beast erupts from the water and snatches Sean into the water. Which one's Sean? Why, the black guy, of course.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Way to go, Asylum.
Yep. The shark pulls Sean under, rips him to pieces, and swims away. Later, the team heads back in as Whitey radios that there's been a fatality. They send the report to Officer Sterling about what happened. Ram tells them that it wasn't a shark, and that it was shaped like a starfish and had 4 heads. Way to muddy up the already ridiculous situation.
Did it maybe have a different design before they went into post or something? Where's the starfish thing coming from?
Maybe it was Killer Starfish Attack. They said, no, this is just too silly. So Sterling shows them the picture, and they confirm that it's the thing that killed Sean. Whitey tells Yost that she needs to go back out there because that shark is worth millions. And that's all it takes. And she just says, yeah, okay, let's go.
I also love how he said that, he made all these giant leaps in his assumptions real quick. Like he said, what if this isn't, what if this isn't just a normal shark with more heads? What if this is a new species? What if there's more of them? What if there's hundreds? What if there's thousands? It was like, when are we going to stop?
What if
no
it cures
evidence
cancer?
to support any of this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's very excitable about this four-headed shark prospect.
And also, he also, whenever he was talking about it could be a new species, he pulled out the Harry and the Hendersons defense on her. When he said, have you ever seen one? Have you seen one before? Like the whole, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? So therefore Bigfoot exists.
Lock that up tight.
Yep, we're good.
So back at the station, Officer Black is pinpointing on a map where the two attacks happened, and then they suggest that they shut everything down. The entire island. Shut it down.
This map was of the southern part of Puerto Rico, and San Juan, Puerto Rico, is in the northern part of the island.
It was upside down.
I actually paused the scene with the map, pulled up a Google Maps of Puerto Rico, found where they were, and I was like, nope.
But that's how easy it is to get little stuff like that right.
And then I was like, well, I know there's no aquarium there. The Coliseum is way on the other fucking side. And the nearest pet store that sold aquarium supplies is even further away.
Oh, the place is a geographical oddity. Oh, Lord. So, having suggested that they shut the entire island down, Sterling says that that's impossible. Let's just put up a warning sign.
Yeah, I was like, here goes the Jaws shit.
Yep. Let Polly do the printing.
Yep.
The next day, a fishing boat is dropping traps when they spot a shark fin. We listen to the crew have a discussion about it without actually seeing any of them from the front or seeing them speak directly to each other. The shark then flips the boat over and eats the crew. Did this scene need to even happen?
No, and I find it hard to believe that fishermen would be so, talkative about seeing a shark in the ocean. Is this their first time out? Seeing sharks in the ocean, you see them.
Yeah. There's going to be sharks out there. That's where they live.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Hey, you still got an eye on that shark? No, I'm doing my fucking job here. Y'all want to catch some crabs or what?
What made them add a scene composed solely of stock footage with punch-up over it?
I don't know. And this is just the first of at least two.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple.
Because there's nothing here. There's nothing to this movie. There's no story. It's just like a shark is eating people, and someone's like, hey, let's get it. And that's the entire movie. So they got to add a bunch of people getting killed for no reason.
So later at the aquarium, Whitey is trying to talk the interns into going back yet again to catch the shark. He says that he thinks that Sean would have wanted them to catch the shark so that they could name it after him. Shawnee the Shark.
Yeah.
He is laying it on thick right now. Yeah,
I'm just thinking, when is somebody going to call HR on this asshole?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the point where he speculates that there could be thousands of four-headed sharks out there.
Oh, yeah.
So they better be the first ones to catch one of them. Yost decides that it's actually worth it to hunt the shark so that they can study it. And Ram agrees and asks how they propose to kill it. Okay, now we're killing the thing now. They're going straight to jumping into hiring a shark hunter so they can go and get the shark. So please get Rob Van Dam back in here to save this movie.
Right.
But, no such luck. They go out to a dock where Yost knows the only person that they can hire to kill the shark, a guy named Red. No.
Exactly.
Not a guy named Red. I can't take it, Asylum. Don't do this to me. Red comes out. Thankfully, it's not Cody from Baywatch. He tells the group that he and Yost used to do quote unquote research together, and says that they're going to use a sonar to catch the shark.
That means they used to fuck.
I was upset. I was upset just because they're saying they're going to go catch the shark, and there wasn't fishing pole 1 on that boat.
Nope.
Yeah. It's a tour boat.
Well, I'll get them some kind of way. Don't worry about it.
He's talking about harpoons and all that stuff. It's like, still, you're going to have a way to reel this thing in.
The plan is he says that they're gonna stun it, and then they're gonna trank it and then tow it to shore. With what, I don't know. They never even attempted to tranquilize anything in this entire movie. They're out for blood from the get-go.
Fucking Red.
Yeah, you gotta look out for anybody named Red in these movies.
His plan B is the single solitary harpoon gun on the boat.
Yeah.
Right. That thing wasn't even that impressive.
Yeah. At first, it looked like it was like an old Civil War musket. I don't know if that's going to do anything.
Say you shoot him with a spear. You don't have any barrels like they had in Jaws.
Nope.
I mean, how many barrels you think the four-headed shark could take down?
Well, this is an Asylum movie, so they would probably just appear on the boat conveniently. They'd be on a completely different boat.
Yeah. Well, when they shoot the spear, it's just a tracker. It's not even intended to kill. God.
And there's nothing there's no rope to it, so you just shot it with a rod. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they think multiple times that that's enough to straight up kill the thing.
Yeah. Or shot it in the heart.
But we're jumping ahead.
Yeah. Do you think this movie was produced by Aqua Adventures or whatever? Because
Aqua Adventures was thanked in the credits.
Okay, because all the boats or several of the boats had an Aqua Adventures decal on them, and Red had a shirt with their logo
and a hat,
and a hat that had been it was a hat, but they'd cut the logo out of a shirt and crappily sewn it to the hat.
We demand a hat too. Well, we ran out of custom ink money.
All we got is shirts. Cut that bad boy out, sew it to the hat. You got a hat.
So from here we cut to the Coral Research dive team. Here's scene number 2. That's all stock footage with just people in a sound room talking over it.
It's almost a little bit impressive that they could throw together this bullshit scene out of stock footage.
The other thing that was bullshit was they were wearing just regular scuba gear.
Yes.
But they were talking to each other. They didn't have the full face thing with the microphone. They didn't have none of that.
My next note was none of these divers have the kind of snorkels you can talk into.
Right.
You got your mouth wrapped around this big chunk of metal and plastic. You're not talking into that thing.
No. Even if you could, but nobody'd hear you.
Yeah, it defeats the purpose entirely.
So one of the divers goes off on her own because she swam with hundreds of sharks all over the world. And the other divers tell her to be careful, to which she replies, "Oh, I always am," and is immediately eaten by the shark.
It's like the shark appreciated the irony.
Yeah. I'm sure after she said, I've swam with hundreds of sharks, there was one person in that group who was like, "Oh, that bitch."
This was the first scene where I started to notice that there's one particular shot of the shark that they kept reusing over and over again. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
They did the same thing in Three-Headed Shark Attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they only it's like a He-Man cartoon. They only animated so many shots and motions, and they just like stick them over other scenes of the movie.
But it's
that's a common theme for the for this franchise,
for the blank-headed shark films.
Yes.
Because in this scene alone, I think it was 3 times they used the same shot.
Yeah, it's the same stuff over and over.
Yeah. So,
which is probably why they added the 5th head to the tail, because they didn't have to show the tail in every shot.
Yeah. So from here, we cut back to Red and his crew as they sail out to where they believe the shark to be. For a movie that's, hinting at Jaws, it certainly takes no cues artistically from it, where Spielberg filmed the majority of the water scenes just off the coast of Martha's Vineyard, but he did it so in such a way that the camera's always facing out to open water, giving you the illusion that the orca's way out there, thus enhancing the danger the heroes were in. No, you're constantly 20 feet from the shore in this movie.
Yeah. You see fucking like birds walking around ankle deep in water in the background.
So Red tells Yost that they should just kill the damn thing, considering all the people it's killed, which to their knowledge is only 7.
Yeah.
They don't know that the poor crabbers got eaten, or the stuck up scuba diver.
That bitch had it coming.
7 people, still a lot of people. It's like it's only been like 2 days.
These people had families, Chase.
But Yost doesn't like that because she's a free-range, vegan, tree-hugging marine biologist, and she can't stomach that idea. Meanwhile, Ram cozies up to girl intern number 1 and tells her to be brave and to do it for Sean. And you can always tell a movie cares when they make no effort at all to let you know the names of the characters throughout most, if not all, of the movie. I call this girl intern number 1 till the bitter end when they finally say her name. So
yeah, that's a problem with just about everybody. I think I don't know Dr. Yost's first name.
I don't think we ever know her first name, and then they just start calling her Yo.
Yeah.
I think they only called her Yost twice in the whole movie. Yeah. But with Ram talking to intern number 1, like, would you really be trying to flirt on a boat where everybody's dying? Or, like, what? I'm not sure. Never been in that situation.
I had the impression that she and Sean were together, and that's why she was so upset.
I totally missed that.
Because weren't they, like, kind of flirting up with each other in the classroom scene?
Maybe we should change her name from girl intern number 1 to just whore.
For having a boyfriend. Ram's the one hitting on her after her boyfriend was just eaten alive.
Well, she could have said that, like, when he put his hand around her, she could have been like, wait, like, my boyfriend just got ate up. Cool your pants.
None of these relationships are defined. I don't know what Ram is trying to do. He never really puts the moves on.
Well, okay, you go find the girl who's sitting by herself lonely, and go and telling her, "Oh, you need to be brave," and you putting your arm around her and all that. Dudes don't do that in normal conversation.
He's comforting her. She's been through traumatic things.
No, he's not comforting her. He's trying to make her comfortable so one of her titties will pop out.
That's clearly what's going on.
Yeah.
See, I understand asylum films, John.
Nobody understands asylum films. That's a lie. Nobody understands them. It's like somebody tells you they know what happens after you die.
That's an asylum film right there.
Cut to a different tour boat showing tourists around Roosevelt Roads, a part of Puerto Rico that's a decommissioned naval base. All accurate, surprisingly enough. He brought them there because this part of Farado has manatees. And just then, a humpback whale breaches out not far from the boat. Why didn't he just say whales?
Yes, exactly.
Why? Come on, Asylum.
Like, I thought that we were going to see a sea cow slaughter. But no, it's just a whale.
No.
And I don't know.
They filmed the scenes, and then they went through their stock 3D model catalog, and they had no manatees. They said, fuck it, just put in a whale.
Yeah.
So all the tourists start snapping pictures when the four-headed shark attacks and rips the whale to pieces. The tour guide gets on the radio to call for help. Sterling and Black listen as the shark turns onto the tour boat. Red intercepts the call and they head out to help. They arrive in the area, I guess, and start laying chum. Red preps his harpoon gun with a sonar tag. The shark rams the tour boat while Yost watches through binoculars, and Yost says, "We got to get the hell out of here." Like she gives up on these people immediately.
Now this thing rams this little tour boat. Earlier, it rammed that big commercial fishing boat and capsized it.
Yeah,
but this little tour boat doesn't move at all.
the minnow's a tough little bastard.
It's the fearless crew that done it.
But Red wants to save the tourist. Sterling meets the tour boat at the dock and helps the tourist get out. One of the officers spots the shark headed towards the docks and gets ready to open fire. The shark leaps up, grabs the officer, and pulls him underwater, causing none of the surrounding boats to bob or move or anything. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the shark passes directly through one of those big wooden stakes sticking out of the water. What are those things called?
Yeah.
Just goes right through it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the shark wasn't actually there.
I'm starting to think that thing wasn't real at all.
So Sterling and Black open fire, but the shark's out of range. Sterling radios Red, letting him know the shark's on the way. The shark surfaces and attacks girl intern number 2 as Red fires the sonar dart into what looks like its fin. As the crew is aghast from girl intern 2's death, Red says, "Well, at least I got the sonar in it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the animation of them eating the girl, though, I did kind of like it.
Isn't she kicking really fast, inhumanly fast?
Am I wrong, or did they use that one over and over again too?
I think they just changed the shoe color.
Yeah.
But when the shark would eat people, it looked kind of cool.
I mean, I appreciated that they actually got some gore in there.
Yeah, the heads would fight each other over getting the person. I thought that was cool.
I mean, I was just happy to see some gore. I mean, all these Asylum movies have no gore, basically.
We got to stop saying positive things about this. It's making me sick.
Oh, sorry.
So
this movie's gonna change film.
And so at this point, for reasons unbeknownst to anyone, the shark grows a 5th head on its tail.
What?
Just because it wants to.
What special properties did that girl's meat have to cause him to sprout a new head?
It was just enough XP to level him up.
Yeah. had enough Evo points to evolve.
Ass face. I'll take that one.
It wasn't even it didn't even sprout a head. Just the tail formed into a mouth, and then slowly transitioned to a head with teeth.
It almost looked cool briefly.
Yeah. Well, if they would have kept it to where it was just the tail just bifurcated like that and had a mouth on it, that would have been fine.
That would have been fine.
And would have almost made sense.
Yeah, because now the shark's in a way worse position as it can no longer move.
Yes, exactly.
That backhead's just going back and forth, poor bastard.
God. Sharks need their tails.
Yes.
I hate to bring up a whole human centipede situation and all, but now this thing's digestive system is all fucked up. because if the front heads eat, where's it gonna go?
Well, it still has shark
they don't
parts. I mean,
poop out of their
the tail
tails.
isn't the.
Okay, well, so they don't poop out of their tail. Yes, okay, I overlooked that. However, where's the food from the back one gonna go?
Okay, fair enough. I didn't think that one through.
But where's the food from the back head gonna go?
I mean, I don't know.
It's just gonna come out its chin.
I want to see a cutaway, an anatomical cutaway of this thing, so I can figure out how it works. Do the four heads, do their esophaguses like converge into one esophagus, or do they all have their own stomachs, or like what's the deal here?
I don't know.
Do the two middle heads have gills on them? It's kind of, you know, they all have to have gills to breathe. Are the two sets of gills on the extreme edges enough to sustain all five of these freaking? And the head on the back's getting backflow from the gills.
Yeah.
What if it just like it forms and immediately drowns?
So its gills would have been facing backwards anyway.
Yeah, it's hell to be that back head.
Yeah.
You getting shit on all the time. Your gills, you can't breathe right.
I like how immediately I realized I messed up with that too. Like, yeah, sharks don't poo out of their tails. Idiot.
So back at the aquarium, Whitey explains that the shark is dead, apparently.
Why did they start saying that?
Because Red shot it in the heart, therefore it's dead. We didn't see it die. There's nothing to even indicate that maybe it died, but let's just say it died.
And Red even says right then, well, I don't want to, like he says, I don't want to risk it and say it's dead. Then he turns around and says, well, it's dead.
They've all been reading The Secret, man. It's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
So Whitey, he plans to pay Red regardless of the fact that the aquarium is going bankrupt. But he also needs to know that if insurance will cover it, because he ain't going to jail over this shit.
These are all reasonable questions.
Sterling comes in and agrees that he believes it to be dead. Whitey says that none of this is his fault because if Lindsay, a.k.a. girl intern number 2, had just been more careful, she'd still be alive. Which causes Ram to go flying at him. But Red breaks it up, saying that fighting's not going to solve anything.
Except who's the better fighter?
Yeah. We're going to settle this the old Navy way. First one to die loses. So we cut from there to spring break. Woo! Where VJ Kathy Thomas announces live that the shark that's been harshing everyone's mellow is like totally dead, bro. Now everyone at the Playa Aviones can get back to the 10th annual Surf Classic with special guest PJ Sinsuela.
Did anybody look him up?
No.
No.
Is he a person?
I don't know. That's
No,
why
I was
asked.
hoping you did.
That seemed like, now in hindsight, seems like a good thing to look up.
So she's thankfully interrupted by the now 5-headed shark attacking the partygoers. It eats a surfer whole as blood starts rushing onto the beach. Back at the aquarium, Officer Black reports in that there's been another attack. They all head back out and arrive at the beach. Yost asks the first airhead that she sees what happened, and his opening statement was, "It was gnarly." Immediately disregard this man's account and find someone else to ask.
Yeah.
So he says that the shark had 5, maybe 6 heads. Sterling reports that there's been 16 people injured and 5 killed. And Ram says, "It's times like these I wish sharks had natural predators." Shut up, Ram.
You're not helping.
Yost then gets the idea to use sounds of dolphins to scare away the shark. And Red formulates a plan to lay a line of speakers to trap the shark in an area and blow it up. However, Red only has a couple of M80s on his boat. But fear not, because Sterling has enough dynamite to wipe Fajardo off the map.
Speaking of M80s, PJ Sinsuela is a doctor turned rapper.
He's real.
So he does exist.
This was a celebrity cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
So
But
there you go.
Fantastic.
what is it with Asylum and their grossly over-exaggerated amounts of explosives in every movie? Everything's going to blow up the world.
And okay, if you have a couple M80s on your boat, those things are useless. Like, yeah, they'll blow your fingers off and shit, but like, you're not killing fish with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do you even have those on your boat?
Right. Or even mention it, like, hey, does anybody have any explosives? Well, I got some black cats and ladyfingers or whatever. Like, no, dude, nobody cares.
I got some of those little black things you light that makes a little snake.
Yeah, I got a snake. I got the chicken that shoots out eggs out of its ass. It's awesome.
Yeah, but then why does the police force have dynamite like to that degree?
Enough payload to wipe out the city.
Beats the shit out of me.
Yeah. They can't even have they don't even have uniforms. They're gonna have goddamn
They spent it
dynamite.
all on dynamite. The first thing they bought was dynamite, and they way overbought.
You'd be surprised how little dynamite is needed in police work.
Well,
I figured if we have enough dynamite, we don't have to hire as many officers. But then they had to get the officers anyway, and they just didn't have enough uniforms.
Costco had a sale, and I just went overboard.
Yeah.
They all have to pass around that one hat.
Meanwhile, the five-headed shark is just swimming around picking off other random regular great whites that are all over Puerto Rico. So Red and his team are 15 minutes away to the inlet to set up the trap. Red tells Whitey that catching the shark isn't worth it anymore. Whitey has a phony change of morality and apologizes to girl intern number 1, which she wants nothing to hear of. And then he slinks down below deck with sinister music playing, so it makes me wonder something's going to go on there. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really confused about his change of heart here.
They really set it up that he's going to betray them in some way or use one of them as bait to catch the shark in some kind.
Something like that.
It never happens.
But yeah, it
Maybe
just comes
it'll
off as
happen.
genuine.
Maybe it'll happen in Six-Headed Shark Attack.
The sixth head is his head. Red sprouts out.
It doesn't eat anybody. It just keeps saying, shark.
So Red and girl intern number 1 have a little heart-to-heart about when Red lost a friend to a shark attack back during El Nino or something. We then get a nice full shot of the five-headed shark, and it's just the dumbest thing ever. It shouldn't be with its face on its ass.
Wait, was this the part where Red was telling everybody where his name came from?
No, that's later.
Oh, okay.
That's coming.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this part where he talks about his friend that got killed by a shark, was this earlier in the movie? Dr. Yost said nobody's died of a shark attack since 1924 or whatever. So is this the same? Was it the same? Was she
Maybe.
only talking about Puerto Rico?
About to say, she did say Puerto Rico. So
Yeah.
maybe this happened somewhere else.
Anyway,
You gotta give them something.
Asylum keeps slipping through my fingers.
That's it.
I just want to interject right here really quick that Six-Headed Shark Attack is set to premiere in August of this year.
God damn it! Where are they going to put that
bitch.
head? Is it the dorsal fin? Is the dorsal fin the sixth head now?
It's just gonna be this ball of heads.
Maybe they'll actually make the Ninja Star shark.
32-headed shark attack. It's just a ball of shark heads.
This big whirling idiot of a shark.
the little thing is just spinning around like a tilt-a-whirl thing all quick, and there's one head poking out the top, just going, like you can't fucking hold on.
There's got to be a scene where it rolls up onto like a pier, like a amusement park pier, and it rolls up next to the Gravitron, and it's just grinding up against it, eating people. Oh my god. Okay, so meanwhile, Black and Sterling are laying the dynamite as Yost prepares the speakers on some buoys. Whitey then apologized to Yost, also saying that he was only thinking of the welfare of the aquarium. And Sterling then confers that all the beaches have been shut down as they watch the radar for any sign of the shark. Yost turns on the speakers, and the shark's driven away to the trap zone. Sterling picks it up on radar, and they draw it in. They begin chumming when Ram notices that Kate, we have a name for her, intern number 1, is worried. So Kate's still upset about Lindsay, doesn't know if she can go on, but Ram talks her into taking the disgusting bucket of fish guts and heaving it over the side of the boat and contributing. Red pulls out a bucket of mammal fat that he just happened to have to lure in the shark. He also happens to have a couple of depth charges. I thought he did not have any real explosives on the boat.
Yeah, he didn't mention those.
Where did those come from?
He then goes off to say
those
that
balls that they throw into the air and then they change color or whatever, they flip around. It was just like those things with spray painted black.
That's not what depth charges look like.
It didn't have that little fuzzy weasel attached to it. He says that they're set to go off after sinking 20 feet. Has Asylum learned how depth charges work? Guess what? They didn't. The shark hides under Sterling and Black's boat, disappearing from sonar. Black stupidly wanders out onto the edge of the boat while Sterling stares at the sonar, obviously showing the shark right on top of them, but says nothing until it's too late. The shark rams the boat. Black falls into the water. It eats Officer Black as Sterling opens fire. He fires up the engines and takes off, the shark's following close behind him. He hurls a couple of depth charges into the water behind it to no avail. The shark rams the boat's propellers, crippling it. From here, Sterling waits for the shark to get on his east side and turns on the dolphin sounds to drive it towards Red. And with the shark moving into the kill zone, Red orders Ram and Whitey to deploy the bait. It's all bait. They're just constantly throwing bait off.
Bait and dolphin sounds. It's like the flimsiest plan ever to kill a shark.
In the 80s. The shark scrapes the bottom of the seabed, and the sonar tag falls out, confusing everyone on the boat. Red orders that Kate get down to help with the chum, and we've been getting these mandatory cleavage shots of every woman in the movie going up and down this ladder.
What was with the ladder? Every time anyone went down the ladder, they had to show them go down the ladder. Like we couldn't
pad this thing out.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They show a second shark swimming behind the 5-headed shark, and it seemed like it also had 5. Were there multiple? I was like, are there multiple 5-headed sharks here? Or is that what they're trying to communicate?
I must have dozed off because I didn't see that.
Okay,
I think it was just trying to illustrate the 5-headed shark using a regular shark to spring the trap.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is lousy with great white sharks.
So many of them. Yeah, they're like clogging up all of the the great white rescue locations.
So Red goes down to figure out what's going on when the crew decide to ask him why they call him Red now of all times. And he explains that when he was spearfishing for Yellowtail, he was rammed by a hammerhead shark and he fought it off. And the way he explains this is about as coherent as Red from Atlantic Rim explains things.
Can you imagine? What if like Asylum has some kind of weird thing where like, okay, we got a character named Red. He's like Sid from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And his like his one characteristic that carries through is he's really bad at explaining things.
Yeah. Instead of him being a mechanic in some way in every game, he's just an idiot. So I was really hoping that they'd pull a Deep Blue Sea in this scene and have him get eaten in the middle of his speech.
I have a note about that exact thing. Like the way it was framed, and it was just like a long take of him telling the story. He's like framed in the center with the ocean behind him.
It was kind of a wide shot.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. I felt like they were messing with us or something.
Yeah. So Yost picks up the shark, one of the sharks, the same shark, I don't know anymore, on the radar. It approaches the boat and eats one of the bait buckets apparently with the depth charge in it. They wait for the explosion when Red hits the detonator. See, I told you they didn't know how fucking depth charges work still.
Well, that wasn't the depth charge. That was the dynamite, probably, right?
We never even saw the dynamite.
No, we didn't.
Those greasy bastards slipped through again.
So the shark explodes, sending bloody chunks everywhere. Okay, so now we know there's definitely 2 5-headed sharks, right? Because the second 5-headed shark swims in and eats the heads of the other 5-headed shark. This movie is exhausting.
I have no recollection of that.
No, I think they killed a normal, regular, one-headed shark.
No, they showed the 5-headed shark eat the thing.
Yeah, it was eating the chunks, but there was only one head chunk. No, okay. They were deliberately trying to confuse the viewer at this point. They showed like a shark head eat the.
Fuck them!
I know
for that.
I know.
These movies are incoherent to begin with.
I saw the explosion. I didn't know how it happened or anything, but I was like, oh, good, the movie's over. And I clicked the screen to see the time, and I was like, well, no, the movie isn't over. So that's where I kept watching it. Like, that was the point where I started paying attention.
So it eats the other shark. It swims up and cripples Red's boat's propellers, suspiciously looking exactly the same as when it's crippled Sterling's boat's propellers. Red radios Sterling for help, but he's in the same boat, no pun intended. Whitey, or Thaddeus, as it's revealed to be his name.
In the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, Thaddeus.
Didn't catch that either.
Tells Red that he didn't pay him to make them all a shark Happy Meal. The shark rams the boat, knocking Kate overboard. Ram leaps in to save her when the shark approaches. Yost helps Kate and Ram on board as Whitey throws a harpoon into the shark and quickly boasts that he killed that freaking shark.
He jumps to a lot of conclusions in this movie.
All right, so if Ram wasn't trying to get in that girl's drawers,
yeah,
why would he abandon ship?
Why would he save her?
Anyone try to save anyone in any situation if they weren't trying to bang them?
It's like, man, I'm not even trying to bang that girl. I'm not going in there.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I was on that boat and seen all the shit that I had seen that day, if somebody went in the water, I'd be like, damn, that sucks.
That is horrible for you.
Yeah. I'd open up a little umbrella to shield myself from the blood spray because you know it's coming.
He just puts on your like Gallagher poncho.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure back after the first excursion, I would have, quit the internship, dropped out of college, moved back stateside.
Yeah, exactly.
I certainly would have started staying the fuck away from the back end of a boat.
Yeah, definitely.
At the very least. But, I mean, I'm sure there's a life preserver or something he could have thrown instead. But he went whole ass. He didn't half-ass anything.
Because it was a calculated risk. He was like, if I do this and it works, I'm in.
Yeah, it's that ass.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's worth it or not, but okay.
It's not, but I guess when you look like Ram, and your name's Ram, for Christ's sake.
You got a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's trying.
So hilariously, Thaddeus's foot gets caught up in the line attached to said harpoon, and he's pulled overboard shrieking and thusly eaten.
No, this was hilarious to me. Like,
yes, this got an audible laugh out of me.
Because like it's like the movie was bored with itself. It's like, all right, we've seen the shark eat enough people already. So like it cuts. There's like a long shot like of Thaddeus getting pulled off the boat, and then it cuts directly to him being in pieces, like getting munched by the. It was just such a weird edit. They were like, we don't want to deal with this whole like, now the shark's gotta get him and stuff. It's like, no, it fucking got him. He's eaten. Move on.
We all know it. Connect the dots. Moving on. So Sterling calls in a helicopter, but Red will have to hold off the shark until it arrives. At this point, I'm thinking, when is this movie going to end?
Dude, seriously.
Red pulls out a box of guns that he has and starts passing them out. I told you, things just miraculously appear in Asylum movies.
Maybe they have like a Bill and Ted time machine where all they got to do is like tell each other, as long as you remember to come back and leave a gun here.
And there it is.
The gun's there.
Maybe they got Felix the Cat's magic bag on there.
Meanwhile, the rescue chopper takes off. As the shark approaches the boat, they all open fire on it, but it has no effect. The helicopter arrives and swoops in low. You see where this is going, folks?
Yeah, before we talk about the helicopter, Ram says that he thinks the shark might be dead because he hit it a few times. Like he shot it a couple times.
Yeah, I think I hit it a couple of times.
And then Red says these weapons wouldn't do anything to the shark. Then why'd you pass them out amongst everybody?
Only an idiot would think that these weapons would do anything to the shark.
He's like, gotcha, you morons. These things won't do anything. What are you, stupid?
If there's one thing I love more than fishing, it's giving false hope. Fucking asshole.
How many times did they think the thing's dead in this movie? It's like
too many.
At least 4.
You constantly think it's dead.
I kept hoping, for some reason for me, I kept hoping that they would kill one of the heads and it would just be laying there like flaccid amongst the other ones. Like that would have been an interesting concept.
Yeah, and then the rest of the heads get super pissed. They're like, oh no, ring head or whatever.
Oh no, Sean.
And then one of the bags like, what happened? What happened?
They got fucking Sean, man.
No way.
So the helicopter swoops in low. The shark, of course, leaps out of the water and bites the helicopter out of the sky. Here again. Kate, I think that explosion probably killed it. Stop assuming the shark is dead.
It's never dead.
They pick up movement on the radar as the shark frees itself from underneath the crashed helicopter and makes its way back up.
How in the fuck? How in the fuck does a helicopter sinking to the bottom of the ocean trap a shark underneath it? Like sharks can swim and stuff, like forward, out from under the helicopter.
The explosion knocked it unconscious.
Oh,
all
man,
5 of them. Well, all 4 of the front ones. Maybe the back one stayed alive, but he couldn't do shit.
Because they wasn't struggling; they were laying there like Randy in A Christmas Story, just laying there at the bottom
like
of the
a
ocean.
slug.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they woke back up. So maybe they were knocked out from the explosion. Damn it, Asylum.
Slippery bastards.
So Red then decides he's going to take matters into his own hands and formulates a plan of Wile E. Coyote proportions as he produces a comically oversized fish hook attached to some depth charges. He instructs Ram to start chumming as he leaps from the boat and hooks the shark in the back. The shark pulls him down as the rest of the crew look on. After a few tense seconds, there's another huge explosion that rains down blood. They all believe Red to be killed, but I bet we aren't so lucky. What do you know? He climbs aboard the back of the boat. Red then asks Yosk if she wants to get married. She says, "You'll have to go vegan." And then no one laughs, and the movie finally ends.
That's a weird way to ask someone to marry you.
They always have to end their movies with some stupid little tongue-in-cheek joke thing. God, I hate asylum movies.
Yeah, seriously, why do we keep doing this?
Oh, Lord.
Like, to me, the better way of ending it would have been like if Yost would have been like so upset that he was going to sacrifice himself, you know, and then he did.
Yeah.
And when he gets back on the boat, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're alive." And he was like, "I guess I'm off the hook then."
Oh.
That's better.
Wow. Yeah,
It is better.
It is. Oh, so there it is, folks. Five-headed shark attack. Entry number 1 in Shark Month 2018. So
It was
let's
a
get
lot
down
more
to
fun
the...
it was a lot more fun to talk about it than it was to watch it.
Sure, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now we need to get down to business as the contest begins.
Dun, dun, dun.
Blake and I will be competing. John's written 5 questions for us over Five-Headed Shark Attack.
Mm-hmm.
And same rules apply as last Shark Month. It's total questions over all 4 movies, not necessarily wins per movie. And winner at the end of Shark Month gets their signature weapon for next season.
Mm-hmm.
I can taste it already. So, without further ado, take it away, John.
Okay. I have a feeling these might be pretty easy questions for the most part. All right. How many of the 3 girls being photographed in the beginning of the movie had sunglasses on their heads?
Wow.
That's the hardest one.
Did I write these questions?
I was going to say, that's a Blake question if I've ever heard one. You said how many of the 3?
How many of the 3?
Is this a trick question, John?
No. It's a straightforward question.
Okay.
What does Red call the aquarium patrons? Okay. Let's see. What is the name of Red's boat? I'm sure you guys know that one.
That one I got.
Oh yeah, I got it.
When did the tour guide's father serve in Puerto Rico? What year?
Thank you.
And finally, also according to the tour guide, how many manatees are left in Puerto Rico?
Yes. I knew that idiot's whole little spiel was going to be important.
I think I had a total of 10 questions, but we sort of ate up a bunch of them in the discussion, so those ended up remaining. Okay, how many of the girls had sunglasses on their heads?
1.
I'm going to guess 2.
It was 2.
Oh shit! I even changed my answer to 1. God damn it!
I was thinking, is it possible it was none of them? I'm pretty sure I remember sunglasses.
Question for me to ask. What does Red call the aquarium patrons?
I wasn't 100%, but I think he said Taurons.
I said Tourees.
It was Taurons. That's right.
Oh.
Yes.
What is the name of Red's boat?
The day off.
Correct. What year did the tour guide's father serve?
68.
I said 42. I didn't know.
It was 68. And how many manatees are left in Puerto Rico?
700?
700.
700.
All right.
It's a pretty good start. Pretty good start, you guys.
I mean, you got 4, Chase?
4-3. Is that where we're at?
4-3.
Yeah.
Not bad. We got a contest, folks.
Yeah.
I actually wrote the questions out this time.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because if you didn't, you would be like, of all the sunglasses in the film, which appeared on the first 3 women? What?
What styles and colors compose the makes of the sunglasses throughout the movie that were only on the women?
Yeah.
What? Oh Lord! All right, so yeah, we got a contest.
I thought one of the questions would be how many pictures were stored on that camera, or how many, because that thing had a fucking hard drive on it. The last picture he took was 4,026.
God damn.
He took a lot of pictures of those girls.
It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I had the what year did Yost say the last time anyone died of a shark attack?
I said that one in the thing though.
What was the aquarium director's name? Because they only find out at the very end.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool.
So, okay, with that done, we move on to Coming Attractions, where we got to find out what our next shark movie is. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So I was able to actually come up with a secondary theme for all the remaining shark movies in the month, and they all have sort of small connections to Garbage Theater history.
Okay.
So we're going to be watching The Last Shark from 1981.
The Last Shark?
The Last Shark.
This sounds terrible already.
It's also known as Great White, The Last Jaws, and Jaws Returns.
I know what you're talking about now. Oh shit.
Yeah, Riff Tracks did this one. I haven't.
This is the one that they panned off as a Jaws sequel, right?
Well, in certain countries they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
The tagline, or one of the taglines, is "You're what's for dinner." And its connection to Garbage Theater history here is that it's directed by Enzo Castellari, who directed Warriors of the Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
It's 88 minutes long, so not too shabby.
Yeah.
Synopsis: James Franciscus, who's the actor, I don't know why they use the actor's name. James Franciscus tries to save hundreds of swimmers in a coastal resort after a great white shark starts terrorizing the area. So it's Jaws. It's a Jaws ripoff.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
If anybody shows up wearing a anchor-laden suit, I'm quitting.
It's starring James Franciscus, who was in lots of stuff. He was in Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh.
The Valley of Gwangi, which is good times. And he was in a bunch of episodes of Naked City back in the day, that old show.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like an old noir series. It also stars Giancarlo Prete. I don't know how to pronounce it. His other alternate name is Timothy Brent, and he played Scorpion in Warriors of the Wasteland.
Yay. Does he get his ass out in this one too?
That remains to be seen.
There's only one way the shark will leave you alone. Everybody drop trow.
It's got 3 stars on Amazon, 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 33% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, Universal Pictures sued the producers of this movie when it was released in the US, and based on plagiarism of Jaws. They won, and the film was pulled from theaters. And it was released in Spain and Japan as official sequels to Jaws.
Yeah. That's the note that I remember seeing about it.
Okay.
We got a couple of reviews here. I've got one review from a guy that's clearly a moron. He says, Jaws is silly, but this movie is somehow sillier. He goes on to say, it's Jaws, but it's even goofier because there's more gore, more slow-mo Sam Peckinpah style action sequences, and a lot more ladies in white thin material outfits falling into the water. 3 stars. So, yeah, he's slagging on Jaws. And
When was there slow-mo in Jaws?
I'm saying he's saying there's slow-mo in this movie, in The Last Shark.
I thought he said there was more slow-mo.
More gore, more slow-mo. Yeah, I mean, I guess not really.
If it has any slow-mo, it'd be more slow-mo.
Yeah, that's right.
That slippery bastard.
Another review, awful, with a couple of okay bits. 2 out of 10. And The Last Shark, an accidental comedy. 1 out of 10.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Not a lot of strong, reviews. Fun reviews. But anyway, some of the plot keywords that I thought were pretty good are sharksploitation, giant animal, torso cut in half, tragic event, meat, electronic music score.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. Last Shark. It's gonna be fun.
Fantastic.
It'd have been better if some of the other keywords were Kettner boy and spilling out on the dock.
Half-assed fish autopsy.
Yeah.
Well, this thing had 80 plot keywords.
Oh, Christ. All right. Well, installment 2 will be The Last Shark. That's on Amazon?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for joining us for the beginning of our Shark Month. This is one of our more fun times that we have, even though so far it's been pretty goddamn bad. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at Garbage_Theater, and on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. If you'd like to suggest a movie to us, send it to us on any of those social media channels or direct email to garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Does anybody have anything to add? Why do I even ask this anymore?
I would like to say that Asylum is getting better with their logic, and I think that they should be picked more often. I am even proposing that we should have an Asylum month because they are doing so well with their movies.
Oh, there isn't a month dark and evil enough to commit to Asylum.
I hate that idea.
My biggest fear was that we were going to watch 4 Asylum shark movies.
I thought that's what you were about to say, and I would have thrown my computer in anger.
No, I made sure that didn't happen.
Okay. Do you know what the final 2 are going to be?
Yeah, I got them all picked out.
Okay. Is this the only Asylum movie?
No.
Oh, shit.
There's one other, but only because it fit the secondary theme.
All right. Oh, man. Well, we'll get to that one when we get to it. For now, we're watching the 80s classic, The Last Shark. So we will see you then, folks.